You are looking at a common nighthawk that is resting in our backyard. We did some research on the nighthawk and found that they like gravel and areas that are kind of dry, and so this is our backyard pretty bad, so he blends in nicely and is at rest on the gravel there, and his mate will show up soon, and we decided to do this as a science project, so enjoy our observations.
Common nighthawk sleeping in our yard, and we're just zooming in, and it's really cool. So yeah, common nighthawk is literally sleeping in our backyard.
That was my son J.K. John, and he enjoyed this project. You're looking at the male nighthawk who has the white under his chin and around his tummy area. I recorded their calls, which you can hear in the background, and I'll be playing throughout the video. But that's what makes them so different than the other birds, is this really strange sound that you hear, which is not actually coming from their throat. It's when they get way up high in the sky, they do this dive towards the ground, and at the very bottom of the dive, their wings form a certain formation, and the air going through their wings sounds like a big bullhorn or something. Okay, so here he's about ready to dive, so listen very close. That's the strange sound. So if you've heard that sound at night or in the morning, now you know what it is, a nighthawk. Now coming up in the video, you'll be able to see both of them, the male and the female, waddle, and it looks so cute, and I'm not even sure why they waddle like that, but it looks really cute, so be sure to keep watching. Now here is the female, who is not quite brightly marked as the male. They sat quite a ways from each other, and as you watch, you can see her just kind of sinking and sinking to where she's a lot flatter on the ground and all nestled in and comfortable. They are a nocturnal bird, so they would be sleeping normally at this time. This was taken in between about, I'd say 8 in the morning till about noon. They stayed there just resting and watching, and that's how far she is away from the male. You can see that they're quite a distance apart, but they're both there amongst the grass and the gravel. And they eat insects. They like to dive down and get the insects, so they stay where there's a lot of insects in the warmer areas. Okay, now here is the waddle. Sometimes they go backwards, sometimes they go forward, but it's just so funny. Their little feeties just pick up the ground just barely, and they just waddle in circles. These nighthawks like to migrate. They can go all the way from Canada all the way down to the Caribbean, even down into South America around Argentina. They go, like I said, where all the insects are. They like to have lots of insects to eat, so the warmer areas are better for them to migrate to. She finished her waddling, and now her little eyelids are getting heavy. She's so cute. It was such a windy day, but look at those eyelids. She's looking around, checking. Oh, she started waddling again. I guess she wasn't finished. Waddle, waddle, waddle. It was to be in the 80s this day, so it was actually quite warm and windy, and that didn't seem to bother them. They just enjoyed that nice, hot, windy weather. The bird calls you're hearing, I had recorded those earlier in the morning. Those are nighthawks. Of course, you can hear other birds mixed in with that. But those are the calls that were happening earlier that morning. They weren't going on during this time that they were resting. It was pretty quiet. There were no other nighthawks flying around and making those calls. Okay, now it is the male's turn to waddle. He waddles backward to get around that big clump of grass, and he stops and looks, and then he keeps waddling. It's such a cute little movement. Their feet don't even come off the ground sometimes. They just go back and forth. I apologize for the movement of the camera when you're zoomed in really tight like that. Each little movement is pretty sensitive. I tried to keep him in the center of the screen, but he just kept moving. So I apologize. Okay, he's gotten to a spot where he's comfortable, and now he's going to close his eyes and relax some more. Now it's later, and she's alert and awake and moving around and thinking about moving. Okay, here the female fluffs her wings. I thought that looked so funny. I went ahead and put it in slow motion here in a little bit. You'll get to see it in slow motion, how she ruffles all those feathers. But she's obviously alert and looking around. Oh, big yawn there. My goodness, girl, you got a big mouth. So these nighthawks just entered our neighborhood, I would say about a month ago, around April, the mid-April. We did not hear them previous to that, so they must have migrated in, and we were kind of wondering what that strange sound we kept hearing was, and then we figured it out. And so they've been fascinating to watch, and we actually see them all throughout the day, but it's more so in the early morning and the late evening. It's fun to hear them and hear the strange sound they make when they dive. Here she's just about ready to take off, so watch close. But they're just a fun little bird to watch. They look very similar to the whippoorwill. Especially the male nighthawk looks just like an eastern whippoorwill, but they have a totally different call. So I hope you have enjoyed our mini documentary and have a better appreciation for the common nighthawk.